Hello everyone, to the 9th round of the Unlimited Racing 2D Season 2, Championship. Today we're here at Monza, the historic Italian circuit. And while going into this Grand Prix, it's just been complete dominance from Alpine. Driver-wise, it's very close between Leclerc and Russell. However, apart from that, really, Alpine, they're just fighting themselves now. Going into this Italian Grand Prix though, it's a wet one, or at least qualifying. Favourite, it has to be Charles Leclerc. How can it not be Charles Leclerc? He's managed to get pole in every qualifying, I think, except one where Sergio Perez actually managed to bag in pole position. But the real question, I want to see being answered is, can anyone actually, beat Alpine? Can Alpine be beaten this season? Imagine if they win every single race. At the start of the season, I thought that's a bit ambitious, but now, looking at it, it's very, very realistic. And it looks like George Russell, he's going to stop his teammates' run of pole positions, because George Russell's just managed to bag pole position for the first time this season. Charles Leclerc second. On the second row, it's going to be Perez and Norris, with Pierre Gasly third, Sainz fourth, Alexander Albon fifth, Sainz sixth, Albon seventh, Verstappen eighth, Hamilton ninth, Ocon 10th, Jack Aitken 11th, Daniel Ricciardo 12th, Callum Whitelock P13, Mick Schumacher 14th, Yuki Tsunoda 15th, Hulkenberg 16th, Bottas 17th, Mazepin 18th, Stroll 19th, and last but not least, Robert Schwartzman will be starting at the back of the grid. The drivers, they've all started on wets because, well, it's raining. Russell, he manages to cover the inside. Leclerc tries around the outside, no he can't. Looks like now Sergio Perez has managed to get P2. Those two are going to be battling into the first Lesmo. Perez has P2, he has the inside on Russell. But now he's managed to get a good start, Russell. Lando Norris though, he's now managed to get P2. Is he able to find P1? So far it looks like out of the Parabolica. Yes, he can going into Rettifilio, but he goes slightly wide. As Charles Leclerc now for lap 2 comes back. This is going to be the battle, and this is the battle I was honestly expecting. Those two. Carlos Sainz though, the man who just loves getting podiums these days. P3. More rain is on the horizon. Sainz, it looks like it could be P2 soon because Leclerc's gone wide at the Parabolica. Can he do anything? No, he can't. Now Norris has managed to get a really good run out turn 2. Norris can't do anything. It looks like his tyres are going, but saying that, he's managed to overtake Charles Leclerc for P3. Whoever wins this race between Russell and Leclerc ultimately leads the championship, Either Leclerc wins it and retains the lead of the championship, or Russell wins it and becomes championship leader again. Leclerc though is getting held up by Lando Norris. Lando Norris is not showing Leclerc the inside. Definitely not. Not going to make it easy for the Monegasque. Going into Ascari chicane. How much grip has Sainz got? Towards the end of Ascari, he did run slightly wide. But now it looks like Charles Leclerc's under some threat from Sergio Perez. Perez is going down the inside. Oh, just gets forced out wide though. And now Pierre Gasly's all over the rear wing of Sergio Perez. Can Gasly do anything? Ooh, yes. Going into the second Lesmo, Gasly gets past Perez. But this is just what George Russell would have dreamt of last night. Just to get a good lead, a good gap. Have some safety. And with Sainz and Norris running wide, that's gonna increase his gap at the front. The rain has stopped, however, as you can clearly see, the track is still very damp. Whoa, really good exit from Lando Norris. Sainz is in, Norris is in, but George Russell stays out. Gasly in, Leclerc in. For a fresh set of wet tyres. They think it's going to remain wet. Perez, though, we know he likes to switch strategies, you know. Go slightly different to everyone else, and so he does. Perez will probably get minced going into Ascari, but I mean, it's worth a try. On my minimap, it looks like George Russell's in. George Russell is pitted for the wets. George Russell's pitted for the wets. Lando Norris is much closer to George Russell. But it looks like the strategy, you know, the risking it one more lap has worked. We're nearly at that stage though, where the dry tires will be, you know, they will be getting used. Charles Leclerc, this is where he's been really weak though, in the championship. Okay, he's been on this great run of form. I think last 3 races he's managed to get pole and the win. But prior, you know, before that, if Leclerc wasn't winning, he was out of the top 3. Now that rain has stopped and the track is dry enough, predictions are rain's going to, you know, it's on its way. Whether, you know, Russell has pitted 1 lap too early, we'll wait, you know, that'll be seen shortly. Sainz gets forced out wide by Nico Hulkenberg. There's George Russell. It looks like Sainz, Gasly, all of the top runners, they're staying out. Do they want to have really fresh tires at the end? But do they have the pace to catch up? Carlos Sainz, obviously, he's the leader of the front runners. Surely he has to pit this lap because George Russell has the lead. He's managed to make an extra pit stop and now has the lead. Although he goes wide, and that is to Sainz's advantage. Honestly, it looks like they're very strong. Gasly pits, but Sainz stays out. Carlos Sainz stays out. Is Sainz trying to really go the long distance? The fact that Pierre Gasly pitted and Sainz didn't. Gasly's going a different way. Hamilton, Schumacher, Ocon, Aitken. It's dry enough. Is it dry enough for the dries? Not everyone's pitting for the dry tires. Up top, it looks like Sainz and Leclerc. Remember, Sainz stayed out. Sainz, he stayed out for another lap. He didn't pit. And now, could this be to an advantage or a disadvantage? If you're George Russell right now, do you pit or do you stay out? The closest driver, Sergio Perez, 5 seconds away on the wet. Closest driver on softs, Carlos Sainz, and he's on the other side of the track. I think George Russell may be safe. Was there any point of pitting for the softs? So far, not really. Sergio Perez, though, what a drive from him. Lando Norris, he manages to just take P3 away. But it looks like no, because rain is coming back. All of the drivers who pitted for the softs, they're back on the wets. So George Russell, as long as he keeps on the island, George Russell has another race win and ultimately championship lead. Charles Leclerc is running down in P8. What a horrible race from Charles Leclerc. George Russell now just has Ascari and then Parabonica, whilst trying to lap Nikita Mazepin. However, it looks like George Russell manages to take victory here at Monza. He wins once again. George Russell. It's been a while, but he's actually won. And Pierre Gasly. Orlando Norris. I'm not sure that was a photo finish. Pierre Gasly, Orlando Norris. Here it says Gasly just beat Norris. Verstappen a really good P4. But where did Gasly come from? Perez, he was going so well, but he just had no grip at the end. P5. P6, Alexander Albon, and yes, it's official. Look at the gap between Pierre Gasly and Lando Norris. Minuscule. Max Verstappen, a good result. It's been a long time since he was last in the top five. Sergio Perez P5, Alexander Albon P6, Carlos Sainz P7, Charles Leclerc. What a horrible race this was for him. Lewis Hamilton P9, Daniel Ricciardo P10. What a drive. Whilst Pierre Gasly was P2, Esteban Ocon P11. Mick Schumacher P12, Jack Aitken P13, Callum Ilott P14, Nico Hulkenberg P15, Valtteri Bottas P16, Yuki Tsunoda P17, Lance Stroll P18, Mazepin P19, and P20 Robert Schwartzman. The championship lead now looks like this: 14 points. You heard that right, 14 points is now what separates George Russell and Charles Leclerc. He had a horror, he had a shocker. Honestly, it was an absolutely horrible race for him. Lando Norris, though, building the gap over Sergio Perez, he really needed that. I know P2 would have been better, but the gap between Perez now has grown. Perez now, it looks like he's fighting with Carlos Sainz for 4th and 5th. Don't count out Max Verstappen, especially after that good result today. Hamilton 7th, Pierre Gasly now in front of Alexander Albon with that P2. 20 points ahead of his teammate. Jack Aitken in 11th with Mick Schumacher P12, Nico Hulkenberg P13, Daniel Ricciardo P14, Callum Ilott and Yuki Tsunoda both on the same points in 16th and 17th. Lance Stroll P17, Valtteri Bottas P18, Mazepin and Schwartzman. They've had a horror of a season, honestly. Horrible. The gap stays, they still have a massive lead. Alpine. McLaren, they're second, now beginning to build that gap over Force India. They got unlucky last season, McLaren. Some say maybe should have got second, maybe third, Alfa Romeo P4. P5, Microsoft Williams. P6, Mercedes-Benz. I think it was a few races ago. I said do not count them out. Now 12 points. That's the gap between themselves and Williams. Haas, all season long, I've been saying they're safe. I still think that they're safe from 8th place. Now, because of Ricciardo's great performance, it looks like Red Bull, they've managed to build gap over Ferrari to 9 points. And, well, AlphaTauri, they're in a league of their own, not in a good way at all. Next time up, we'll be going to France. Le Mans. Thank you for being with me. And 5 races to go. Can't wait to go to Australia and Malaysia, especially. Anyways, thank you for being with us. And goodbye.